Everyone thinks insulin resistance is about cutting carbs, but what if the real problem is a sluggish liver and low vitamin D? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how restoring your liver and vitamin D levels can actually reverse insulin resistance naturally without extreme diets or exercise. Hi, I'm Lisa, and I've helped thousands of women with metabolic blockers like no gallbladder, fatty liver, or an MTHFR variation improve their digestion, insulin resistance, and help them to lose weight so they can feel alive and healthy in their bodies again. So let's just get started by, let's talk about why insulin resistance happens. So insulin resistance is where your cells become resistant to insulin. And insulin is sort of like, it gets glucose into the cell. So it sort of holds the hand of glucose and pulls it into the cell. But when you become insulin resistant, that means that your cells are not taking in the glucose like they should. And they become resistant to insulin pulling glucose into the cells. And then glucose, instead of going into the cells, it stays in your bloodstream. And high glucose in your bloodstream is inflammatory. It actually causes an inflammation, like an immune response from your body. So if that goes on for a long time, it can cause damage in your body. So when you are in this state of insulin resistance, you are often also low in vitamin D. And these two are very connected, and I'm going to teach you why. So let's talk about what causes insulin resistance. So it's a combination of things. It's a combination of a processed foods diet that's high in processed carbohydrates and low in fat. It might be, you might have a high stress situation going on, and that has been going on for a long time, and your nervous system is very stressed and you're in a fight or flight state. It could be also caused in combination with poor sleep. If you're not sleeping well, if you keep waking up, you're not getting restful sleep, and if you are mouth breathing at night, which keeps your body in this state of high cortisol. So you're never truly getting rested. And it's from a lack of movement, lack of building muscle, lack of exercise, a lack of moving your body. So a combination of those things is behind insulin resistance. Also, if you have a higher toxic load, that can also impact your blood sugar regulation. So how does insulin resistance impact the liver? So when you have insulin resistance, your liver can become overloaded with glucose, because one of the things that the liver does is it takes extra glucose and it turns it into either glycogen or triglycerides. And triglycerides are fatty acids. And if the liver can't shuttle those fatty acids out, they stay in the liver and they can make your liver fatty. And this, in combination with a processed foods diet and high stress, your liver can become inflamed and congested in addition to being fatty. So now let's talk about what the liver does. So the liver, it does over 500 different things, but one of the things it does is it helps regulate blood sugar. So the liver will take extra glucose and it will store it as glycogen, and it will release it into the bloodstream when it's needed. It works with the pancreas to do this. So it has this sort of insulin signaling from the pancreas. They talk to each other to regulate blood sugar. And it also, another really important thing that the liver does is it activates vitamin D. So vitamin D, whether we take it in from the sun, from a supplement, or from food, it needs to be activated, 1 by the liver and 2 by the kidneys. But if your liver is fatty, sluggish, or inflamed, then that activation might not be happening as well. So, and the other thing that the liver does is it makes bile that helps you absorb vitamin D from your food. So because food is a fat-soluble nutrient and it needs bile to be absorbed. So if your liver is not making good quality bile, you might not be even absorbing that vitamin D from your food. Now let's talk about what vitamin D does when it comes to blood sugar. So vitamin D is very important because it actually helps to assist insulin in getting glucose into the cells. So if you have low vitamin D, you might have more insulin resistance. So if your liver is sluggish and inflamed and fatty, you're not absorbing the food, or the vitamin D from your food, and it's not getting activated. So you have this scenario, this chicken and the egg scenario, where you have insulin resistance, a sluggish liver, and you're not absorbing vitamin D. And if your liver is sluggish, you're going to have a hard time regulating glucose. And if you have low vitamin D, then you might not be, then that's going to impact your insulin sensitivity. So now let's talk about the fix. How do we fix this? And if you want more information, I just want to let you know about my free liver thyroid email course that you can get in the link below. And it's a 5-day free email course that talks about the liver, the thyroid, the connection between the two, and how that impacts your metabolism and digestion. And there's some really good tips in there. So go ahead and grab that and get that free course and lots of free information. So now let's talk about the solution for insulin resistance and low vitamin D. The solution is to fix your liver, not just to take vitamin D supplements, because if your liver is sluggish, you're not going to activate those supplements and they're not going to do any good. So we need to fix the liver. So there's three important steps to fixing your liver. Number one is your nervous system. You want to make sure that you are keeping your nervous system in a state that it is relaxed. And how you do that is, number one, through your breath, making sure that you are breathing slowly. And if you are constantly breathing short and shallow, or you are holding your breath, or you're always in fight or flight, we want to switch over to a slow breathing pattern. Number two, we can regulate our nervous system through food, eating about 300 calories every 3 to 4 hours and giving your body a constant energy source. Especially if you have no gallbladder or fatty liver, you want to make sure that you are supplying the right amount of energy at the right times so that your body feels safe and protected. Any more than 300 calories can overload your system, especially if you have insulin resistance. Number three, make sure that you are getting sleep, which I know that's difficult when you're not getting sleep. That's a very tricky thing to do. One thing that can really help is getting outside into sunshine plenty of times during the day to expose your body to the sun so you can make more melatonin. And the fourth part of nervous system regulation is movement. Walking after meals, getting outside, getting your body moving so that you are moving your muscles, moving your detox, moving your lymph flow, relaxing, and helping to regulate your nervous system. Part two of fixing the liver is the food component. So we want to remove processed foods, especially foods that have synthetic folic acid and processed oils, which can really clog up your liver and impair detox. You also want to be eating balanced meals. So not just 300 calories about every 3 hours, but you want to get about 30 to 50 grams of protein, about 25 grams of carbohydrates, a couple of teaspoons of fat, and 3/4 cup of veggies. This should be like the standard formula for a meal for you. And then part three of fixing your liver is supplements. Supplements can definitely help because a lot of people are deficient in things and it's hard to get it from food. So number one is magnesium, is something that many people are deficient in. This can help your liver and insulin sensitivity. A B complex, whether that's a methylated B or a non-methylated form if you're sensitive to methylated Bs. And something like selenium, which helps your liver to make glutathione and also helps your thyroid. And if your thyroid's healthy, that's going to help your liver. So these are three important parts of healing your liver. And when you heal your liver, what's going to happen is you're going to become more sensitive to insulin signaling, and you are going to start activating your vitamin D, and then that's going to also help your insulin sensitivity. So if you want to learn more and you want to go deep dive, you want to have a meal plan, a nervous system plan, and a supplement plan, check out my 28-day liver revival and iodine bootcamp bundle, which is a special combination of liver support and thyroid support so that you can activate your liver, activate your metabolism, feel better, feel more alive, and lose weight. And you can check that out in the link below. So thanks for joining me. If this was helpful to you, make sure you like this video and subscribe so you can continue to get my content. Thank you so much for joining.